You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hola, ¿qué tal? What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny from Flores, Bullies, and I told you lo prometido es deuda, and we are starting officially Flores Bullies, the podcast. Y el día de hoy estoy súper acompañado by my good friend Alonso from Toy Bullies. Alonso, bienvenido al podcast, bro. ¿Cómo estás?
Appreciate it, man. So I'm doing good. I'm chilling. Aquí, I'm excited, ready to do this interview.
Man, it has been a dream de arrancar el podcast. Antes de arrancar oficialmente, I know que tengo mucha gente que habla puro español y quieren escuchar la entrevista en español, y mucha gente that follows me that's in English. So I'm going to try to Spanglish it so you guys can kind of pick up a little bit por aquí, a little bit por allá. Ya si le pueden poner ahí subtitles on YouTube, go for it. It's going to help you. Pero we're going to try to do the best that we can, all right? And I told you guys I was going to start the podcast. Les dije que quería empezar de una manera fuerte, and I had to go with one of what I consider top breeders at the moment, and I think Toy Bullies is definitely at the top. If you guys don't follow them, si no los siguen, síganlos en Instagram como Toy Bullies. What's your Instagram, bro, that they can follow?
Toy Bullies, yeah. Toy Bullies _Alonso. You can follow my bro Toy Bullies on Efrain Blanco. You can follow Toy Bullies _E. Everything that's Toy Bullies movement, you go ahead and follow. We're all a team. We're all one, so...
Yeah, y son una chingonería para trabajar, honestly. I mean, you talk to them, you let them know what's up with your female. Their service is A1, that's what I love. A lot of breeders, when they already make it, they don't respond to DMs, they don't respond to phone. They barely, they ship the semen right, like on the deadline. Uno anda todo estresado, pero you're not going to worry about that with my boys from Toy Bullies. Y te digo de experiencia because I already locked in Punch.
That's
because,
right.
oh my goodness, I just saw him in person. Y ta madre, un perrazo.
Something else. He's something
and
else.
I locked in a Punch son that they uploaded on Instagram not too long ago, and he got locked in, boom, like that. I think I was like number 9, and there was only 10 spots.
Yeah,
so
they locked in same day, all the slots for...
I slid in there. And, but yeah, so I'm excited, and I know a lot of you guys, igual que yo, just like me, want to know a little bit more, right, about who Alonso is, what is Toy Bullies, where did Toy Bullies come from. We all want to know where all these, like, how did these big breeders come about. And to my surprise, I thought Alonso was going to be a little bit older, pero se ve bien morrito. Alonso, how old are you, bro?
I'm 21.
Bro, this dude is 21. I'm 26. Y no es por presumir, pero to me, this dude has already accomplished lo que yo he querido accomplish in my breeding career. And it's all love. That. It's all love. Porque a todos nos tocan los diferentes tiempos, and I think you guys are definitely doing a good job. Pero vamos a arrancar with the beginning. What was Alonso doing before breeding dogs, bro?
Shit. In the beginning, I mean, what would I could say? I think I always had like that feeling like I had to do something. I always had that feeling like I had to do something. I had to get to some. In the beginning, I was really just always been working, really. Since I was a young kid, I always worked. I always knew that I wanted to get some type of money. I know I wanted to do something. Mm-hmm. I always tell my parents I always wanted to hustle. I always wanted to do something. Since a young kid, I mean, I always had different jobs. I always went to whatever I could get, restaurants, lavando trastes, cortando yardas, whatever I could do to get some type of money. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was the least fortunate, the most poorest. Sí tenía, I was grateful to have meals on the table sometimes. I was grateful to have my parents there, have a lot of support system. Pero también no puedo decir que tenía todo,
Right.
I always wanted more. So, siempre tenía en mente que I wanted to hustle. I always wanted to focus up. I know I had something that I wanted to achieve. I want to say it was high school, early high school, like when I was a freshman. I met my good friend Efrain. And, Efrain, what can I say, Great businessman, great partner, great friend. Around the same age. He always was like a big bro to me, Always looked up to him. So as time went by, as we had friendship, he always was on the same type of thing, same type of mentality, always trying to grow, always trying to succeed more. So, we became friends. We started a little business. Hey, let's do this. Let's have these ideas. And we started doing our little thing. We started doing our thing. We grew more and more. But the thing with us is that when we started, we knew where we were trying to take it. We knew we wanted to be here, not down here.
Ya tenían una meta, pues.
Ya teníamos en mente que we want to be up here. We want to do this. We want to achieve this. We want to be here with the up dogs. We don't want to. We need to take time to go breed to these other little camps or to. And no offense to the other little camps. Shout out to everybody that's doing their thing, everybody that's hustling, everybody that's doing their dog thing. You got to start somewhere. But when we started, we wanted to go straight to the top. So we only made sure that we fuck with the top. We made sure that we work with the top. We made sure that anything that we did was working with the big dogs so that we could, drive in there. So, I mean, what can I say? When it started, I was in college, my first year in college. I think Ephraim was in college too. I had like no money, a couple $100 in my bank account.
College is broke, bro. College life is broke.
Yeah, expensive. I mean, just, I was living more like just regular, I guess you could say. Then my mentality started changing. I started becoming more of an investor. Just moving my mentality, Mm-hmm. How to cut off a lot of friends, cut off a lot of people that wasn't good for me. Surround myself with bosses, surround myself with good people. Every day I had to meditate, every day think about where I want to be, dream about where I want to be, and work every day towards that dream. I'm still not where I want to be. I'm nowhere close where I want to be, but I'm grateful to every day be able to wake up another day and strive to get there, strive to work there. So, every day just putting in work, trabajando, haciendo what you can do daily to make an impact, to make a change. That's what we do.
And that's interesting that you say that, bro, because a lot of people, I feel like the bully game has opened the doors to a lot of people who don't really understand or know the real hustle of being like a breeder, right? Right. I know a lot of out there, you see it on social media, there's a lot of backyard breeders.
Right.
And I feel like they do it, obviously, just for the money itself. Boom, that's it.
Right.
And I feel like you have to have love for the dogs también, ¿no?
Right.
Like, tú tienes que querer a los perros también. Y you take care of the dogs are going to take care of you.
Right.
And so I definitely like the fact that you mentioned that, that you have a goal of where you want to get. You're not where you want to be, even though there's people watching that they want to be where you're at already, right? They consider that the top. Right. But that's what sets people apart to me of being average and then being great, that you nunca te conformas con lo que tienes, siempre quieres más. And the good thing is that you're doing it in a good way, right? Porque hay muchas maneras where, like, especially young kids se pueden desviar and try to make money different ways that maybe is not the best way. And I know a lot of people, even like us breeders, we get some hate because like, oh, you're making money after the dogs, no sé qué. Pero it's like, if only they knew the money that it was invested into the dogs to begin with. Right? And they live good. I mean, some of these dogs live better than I think some of my family members, bro. And that's true. Al chile, bro.
That's facts.
And to me, it's like, if you're not investing like that into your program, like, what are you doing? So who was one of, like, I guess, one of the breeders that when you were starting, you were like, damn, like, I see, like, that's what I like.
Jorge Soto, bro.
Yeah?
The Bully Camp line. I base a lot of my success and a lot of my, I give a lot of gratitude to the Bully Camp line, Jorge Soto. Why? Not just because he's the best, but because I learned a lot from this guy. When I started breeding, it's what I would always see. I always see George. I was like, damn, I want to be like this nigga.
Yeah.
He's blowing up. He's doing his thing. He's doing good. And I always get motivated by things like that. I get motivated to see somebody win. You got to give credit where credit's due. George runs this shit, bro. George runs this shit. He started this shit. And when I did my breedings, cuando empecé a hacer mis camadas, fui nomás a Jorge. Solo a Jorge. All my breedings. Giagi again. Locked in Lemon Jaw, locked in 2.0. I did everything with Jorge. Almost everything that I know and learned from the game, I learned it from George. Hey, bro, ¿cómo le haces esto? Bro, ¿cómo le haces esto lo otro? But one thing that I never was like clingy. I never was hitting them up like, hey, bro, just for info. I always was spending money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I was going and doing my breeding and live in person, I'd go spend it. But once I do my breeding, hey, bro, can you give me some game with this? How do you whelp? How do you do this? How do you do that? So he was always he was a big impact for me and for Toy Bullies, because he kind of shaped us into what we wanted to do. Mira, compa, you've been doing good. You dropped your couple litters. Why don't you take out a stud? Compa, it's because that's what we're trying to do. Look, Chief's right here. You know what I'm saying? We got the Chief. That's how we purchased Chief, and then we purchased
got
Chief
from him?
From George.
Oh, shit.
So I was over there. I was kicking at George's house and shit. Compa, you need a stud. You know what I'm saying? You need this. So you got the Chief. So, you know, so I base a lot of my success off of that. I don't want to say I want to be like George, because I don't want to be like George. George is George.
Right.
But I base a lot of stuff that I take a lot of that knowledge. I'm a sponge, you know. I come in, I see what I like, what I don't like. I soak in what I like. I worked based off of that. So a lot of the stuff I know, a lot of the insiders I know, the dog game, it comes based off George. I just take my little twist to it, made it Toy Bullies, you know?
Right. No, and me sorprende que somebody as big as George, bro, is so, like, humble. Because I've hit him up a couple of times, you feel me? Like, and I mean, I'm like, I see the followers that he has, and I was like, what are the chances of this guy even replying? And I hit him up for a couple of things, and I mean, the dude replied. Like, he takes his time to, like, actually, like, give back to the bully game.
Right.
And I think that's really dope. And if, Jorge, if you're watching, bro, I need to have you on the podcast. Tú dime cuándo, yo le caigo para allá, and we'll make it happen, because definitely... he like you say. I mean, he's like at the top of the top. He's like the elite.
Top of the top, man. Yeah, you gotta give respect where respect is due. He has done some crazy shit. Man.
I mean, ya cuando escuché que Fuerza Régida le escribió un corrido, I was like, bro, like what the fuck? Like that's where I want to be at. So definitely, saludos al compa Jorge. And and like I said, it's very important for you guys to make connections, and always be humble. Like remember that if somebody helped you, you're gonna, maybe you can help somebody out later on.
That's right.
And I feel like that's how. A lot of the breeders become successful. Siendo humildes, remember where you came from. Talking about coming from, where did Punch come from, bro? The famous fucking world Punch. How did Punch come into your guys' life?
Well, I want to say it was like 2 years ago. Nobody knew about Crunch Blood, bro. Nobody knew. Probably a select few in the United States that knew about the blood. Ain't nobody was shipping nothing from China. There was no type of movement, man. Respectfully, we started doing it first. You know what I'm saying? We hit up these people. We always were in contact. Me and Efrain always put in the footwork para hablarnos, pues, comunicarnos con los chinos. Hey, ¿dónde está esto? ¿Dónde está lo otro? Put in the footwork in to find this type of stuff. No es fácil para encontrar también. Just doing research, hablando, mandando mensajes, putting in footwork, we came across Punch. Funny thing was that when the first Punch, que debe de ser que tenía que ser Punch, se murió en un ear crop.
Oh, no way. Damn,
yeah.
Bro.
And después, más al ratillo, we found Punch. Gets Punch now, where everybody knows what Punch is now. Y todo fue bien. I mean, crazy as fuck, one-on-one dog when we seen him.
Right.
I mean, when he came, bro, he just blew shit up. I mean, it's you got to realize that if you really want to make an impact in this dog game, you got to bring something that the game don't got. You got to bring something new. And that's what we were all about, bringing something new to the table. Our name has always been Toy Bullies. The goal was always a toy bully.
Right.
An actual toy bully. Size, compact back, compact, from size, how tall, how short, all that stuff mattered. So for our vision, Punch just met all the check marks, all the goals that we were trying to meet, Punch was there. Totalmente, when we bring him, hicimos todo cuando we brought him, I mean, he just went crazy, He went crazy. It's what the bully world needed. They needed the chocolate. They needed something small. They wanted something complete bully, something with full tail, something functional. And then they wanted some good people behind it.
Right.
That could work the dog. So everything worked out well. Punch, he's the one where he's been working nonstop working. And, we got some new stuff that we're going to pop off from Punch, to keep the legacy alive. But as far as Punch, I mean, he's a legend. I mean, he speaks for himself.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him in person. I couldn't believe how small he was, bro.
Yeah,
and the fact that he's so small and that he's like functional, because I've seen some small dogs out like in shows.
Yeah.
And bro, they can't even stand They can't walk. You know what I'm saying? They look like they're in pain, bro.
Yeah, they can't stand. They can't walk. There's a lot of dogs that got soft paws. They got Eastie Westies. I mean, you name it. I mean, I was surprised myself. You know, when you're shipping dogs and you're bringing dogs from international, it's a risk regardless.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro. Like, ¿cómo fueron los nervios of like spending that? Like, I'm not gonna ask you how much you guys spent, pero like money, putting all that money into a dog that you haven't seen in person had to have been like unos pinches nervios, no?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy to think about it because I don't even do that with people here in the United States. I don't even spend money with people here in the United States because a lot of people don't got what I'm looking for, the vision I'm looking for. Y cuando recibí a Punch, I didn't know what to think. I was like, is he going to be the one? Is he not going to be the one? You don't know if it's going to be a make it or break it.
Right.
You don't know if you're going to pull up to pick up the dog and the dog is dead.
Yeah, bro.
That's happened to me too.
Oh, really? Shit.
Of course, bro. Of course. So, like, you don't know what's going to happen. So, sure enough, when we got Punch, he was just some other shit, bro. Some shit that we ain't seen before. And it was just like, this is the one. Like, we knew. We knew off the rip. We knew that when we saw the dog, we were like, this is the fucking dog. This is the one. And everybody knew. When we were posting, we was doing stuff, it's just... One thing about the dog game, man, is you can't force the community to fuck with your dog.
Right.
The community's gonna fuck with it. If he's the one, if he looks good, that's the dog, that's the dog. You don't gotta do too much. Mm-hmm. You upload. If they like it, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Punch was always the one. Always made numbers, always did good. His pups always sell good. Everybody that bred to Punch always makes numbers too. He just was the one. So, you know, that shit just played out well. And, you know, a lot of it's got to do with making strategic and smart decisions. And then just, you know, God being on our side, just helping us out, man. Just giving us the dog that we needed.
For sure, bro. No, y qué bueno que les tocó buena suerte con eso, because like you said, like I'm pretty sure you guys took plenty of L's, right? Before being able to
hella
get Punch.
L's, man. When you do this dog game, you gotta be ready for the L's. You can't expect anything else. Sometimes I don't even expect W's. Of course, you gotta always be on a winner's mentality, but I don't expect W's sometimes, bro. Sometimes I just work. Whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. I do what I gotta do. I put my footwork in. Mm-hmm. And once I put my footwork in, I sit back and I let it be. I let it be what it's gotta be. You can't do too much. Sometimes you can't beat cleft palates, you can't beat parvo, you can't do shit with that shit.
Right, yeah.
There's some stuff you can't avoid. You can't avoid your female not taking, you can't avoid those things. But what you could do is do your best at breeding to avoid that type. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta do the best what you can do. From there you gotta just let it go.
Definitivamente, yeah, and that's a big tip right there to everybody that's trying to start off in the bully game. Para toda la gente joven que quiere arrancar en esto de ser perreros, de criar bullies, no es fácil, no es nada fácil, y si no le inviertes, la mera verdad, no le vas a sacar. Va a estar muy pelada de que lo quieras hacer barato, you know, que I always know a cheaper dog. Siempre conozco a alguien que lo hace más barato. Cuando pagas barato, te sale barato. Right. I'm telling you, es mejor empezar bien. So, like, I definitely, what I tell people, like, when I started, I'm not going to lie, with some ugly-ass dogs, bro.
Of course. Right? That's how everybody starts, bro.
And from there, it went in getting better. I found a mentor over there in Georgia. He's helping me out. From him, I got the little Kahlua, the little female that I brought for you to see. And so it's, you know, it's getting there. And then I found you guys on Instagram. So I'm definitely trying to work. And so what I tell people is, like, you guys, like, you have to invest, bro. Si quieren arrancar, would you say that if you're going to start off, right, you have 0 dogs, would you say es mejor invertir en una buena perra para después echarle un perro, or start off with a stud? Because a lot of people are like, no, compré un macho, he's going to be the next stud.
Nah. First, you got to build your name. You got to build your name. You got to build your brand. Before you can push such a big stud and push such a big name, you got to have a name for yourself. Mm-hmm. You just got to. Just got to. I've seen so many people that start. I was one of them. I started with a stud at first. Turbo decision. You're not studying them. You're not working them. Es un pinche perro que nomás lo traes ahí tragando. Nomás lo traes tragando ahí el cabrón and humping the fucking floor and shit. I mean, you got to have a name for yourself. You got to build your name for it. That's what I learned. I learned it from personal experience. Yo tenía un macho, I had a dog. I didn't work them. I didn't do nothing. Later, I sold them. I came up with some females. They weren't the best females. I had some low quality females, but I worked with the best studs. I worked with the best people in the game. Later, I came to realize, all right, I don't got what I need. I sold what I need. I pull in what I need, and I worked with it. But everybody's got to start somewhere. Don't get discouraged if you start with some lower quality females. Even if you start with the most ugliest female, it doesn't matter. It's about just starting. It's about getting your feet wet. It's about jumping in and just working. You got to start somewhere.
Right.
You got to start somewhere. It's not about where you start. It's about where you finish. If you're going to jump in and you're working with the best of the best, later your vision is going to change.
For sure.
You're going to do what you got to do. But you got to focus up. You got to stay focused on the goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. We're back. We had to take a quick little restroom break porque pasa, right? Pero we're going to continue with the interview. So what we were talking about is lo importante de lo que es make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
And como dice aquí mi compa Alonso, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you want to get to. Ahora, si tú empiezas con unos perros feos, con algo barato, y ahí te quedas, that's where my issue is. Because you're obviously not trying to get anywhere. You're just trying to make like a quick buck. And, you know, like you're going to see losses and you're not going to advance. So definitely take Homeboy's advice. Él sabe lo que está diciendo because he's definitely doing his things right. I mean, at 21, he's got what a lot of us want to have. And I think it's awesome. It's awesome. Y obviamente también otra cosa es dejen el pinche hate in the bully game. There's so much hate in the bully game. I don't know if you've had to experience it, bro. I mean, you're young. I can say, at people's eyes, you guys came de la noche a la mañana, became big. I know that behind the scenes, there was a lot of work. But to everybody on social media, Toy Bullies was like, boom, overnight. Boom, famous, overnight. Yeah. And have you guys gotten any of that, like, hate? Like, no, pinches morros que ustedes que saben and blah, blah, blah.
Of course. I mean, the hate is number one. It's always going to be. You're always going to get a lot of hate. And if you're not doing anything right, you're not going to get hate. You know what I'm saying? When you're moving right and you're doing what you got to do, you're going to get hate. But you can't let that shit, you know what I'm saying? You can't let that shit get to you. When I started, I had a lot of hate. And a lot of my hate didn't even come from friends. It came from family, you know what I'm saying? Friends and family. It came a lot from your inner circle. Because that's what's going to break you down. Mm-hmm. But you can't let that break you down, man. You got to focus on your goal. You got to focus on what you got to do. You got to be tunnel vision. You can't worry about shit. You can't worry if another breeder says this. You can't worry about if that person said that. You can't worry about what your parents think, what your family think, what your friends think. You can't worry about none of that shit, man. You got to worry about you. You got to focus on what you're focusing, because if I get on Instagram or I get on Facebook or whatever it is, and I'm constantly just responding to what people got to say, people all day is, can that dog walk? Can that dog do this? Just hella negativity. You're going to feed into it, bro. You're going to have negativity going on. But you can't do that. No puedes hacer eso. Tienes que enfocarte tú en lo que es tu kennel and what your goal is, and daily, how can I get to this? This is what I do every day. Mm-hmm. I wake up every day. I got a notepad. I got my book. All right, I got to get to here. What I got to do? If it's baby steps, I got to do this. I got to do that. It's constantly putting in footwork. You can't. Toy Bullies looks, when we started Toy Bullies, it looked like it got overnight big, overnight famous, because every day we're putting in footwork. Every day was something. And even in between the night, I'm talking about growing, messaging people, talking with people, just connecting and making connections all day long, all night long. Even during the night, I'd set alarms on my phone to wake up. In 3 hours, I woke up. I'm liking whoever put posts down. I'm commenting on their posts. I'm messaging people, hey, bro, keep going. You know what I'm saying? I show positivity to people and I show love to people because that's what I want back.
Right.
So what I constantly do is I'm messaging people, commenting on people's posts, liking people's posts, motivating people, showing love to people, and they show it right back because that's what I want back. So you can't take the time to, this person said this about me, going to this person's page to look at this, to look at that. Can't focus on that. You got to focus on what you got to do. Mm-hmm. If your goal is to drop this litter and to do this, why the fuck would you want to be focused on what somebody's got to say negative.
Right.
Focus on talking to those people that want the litter, those people that are interested, those people that like what you got going on. Drop some new content. You know what I'm saying? There's always something to keep progressing instead of focusing on the negativity. Because there's been times, too, where I focus on the negativity. I focus on the bad stuff. And it gets to you. It gets to you, and it only knocks you down.
Right.
So don't look at that. Just stay tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? Stay tunnel vision the whole time. That was my biggest thing. Is I had so much negativity, so much down in me. I had times in the game where when I started, I went through some type of depression where I was just, what the fuck? What am I doing? Is this right? Is this not?
Yeah, I think I relate to that shit, man.
I had a tunnel vision, straight, just tunnel vision, man. Tunnel vision. This person told me that, male verga. You feel me? I'm going here. This and that, male verga, here. Like, I know where I had to get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And anything in between is just something to jump over, just something to get across. It's just another obstacle in the path. Can't focus on nobody, man.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Sí, porque no, you have to choose your time, like how you're going to spend your time wisely.
Right.
You're either going to spend your time focusing on your camp, on what you want to do, lo que quieres lograr, o vas a enfocarte en lo negativo y vas a dejar que esa gente tenga ese poder sobre ti.
Right.
Como dice aquí mi compa Alonso, it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Be positive. Yo sé lo que él dice. I see it. I've been following him. He does comment on people's pictures. He likes people's pictures. And I mean, people, I guess, at least me, I'm like, man, that's a cool ass dude. Nunca lo había conocido. I've never met him. I just met him today. But through social media, you kind of get that vibe. And I was like, man, he looks like a really cool dude. I came over here, we started talking. He is a really cool dude. And I think that's what sets people apart, definitely. And I think another point that you touched es la importancia de lo que son las redes sociales ahora en día, ya sea para el bully game, ya sea para tu negocio pequeño, para lo que sea. If you're not constant on social media, it's going to be really hard to compete, bro. Right?
You got to. You got to. And I stress it to everybody that hops in the game. You got to be on social media. Whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, it's YouTube, whatever it is, you got to be out there. If you're not posting, bro, you're not getting no attraction. I don't care what nobody says. Because I've been that Instagram account where I don't post nothing for months and then I've been where I post every 3 hours. Mm-hmm. If you see my Instagram account, if you go to my Instagram account, I post every 3 hours. Every 3 hours, every 2 hours. Sometimes I get 10 likes. Sometimes I get 15 likes. Sometimes I got some posts where I got over 1,000 likes. It does not matter about the likes and it does not matter about the comments. The thing is that every time you're posting, there's that whole Instagram, there's people watching your shit. They might not like your picture, but they'll go directly and they'll message you. Mm-hmm. I get DMs constantly, bro. I get more DMs than I get likes, than I get comments, than I get anything. And that's what you want to get to. That's the goal you want to get to. So you got to constantly be active on the Instagram, no matter what.
Yeah, stay relevant, right?
Stay relevant at all times. At all times. And I want to say, as far as us, establishing our business and, making ourselves relevant is what we did was, we will always fuck with the big camps. We will always follow the big camps, comment against the big camps, and fuck with them social media-wise because that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? That's what they look for. And I always did that, show love, and then just fucking with that circle of people, those big camps, you become one of those eventually when you start doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You slowly become yourself. Now, of course, a lot of stuff that matters. You got branding, you got a lot of stuff that goes behind that as well. It's not also just any Instagram account, just You got a brand. You got to know your name. You got to know how to market yourself. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Invertirle poquito, like a logo. Something simple as a logo.
Exactly, logos, all of that stuff.
Good quality pictures, graphics, quality videos.
Right.
Edit it. Learn how to edit it. If you don't know how to edit, find somebody that can edit your videos, your pictures for you. All that is super important. I think a lot of people, like como mi papá. Mi papá no comprende mucho lo que son las redes sociales. And my dad, he does the bully thing with me. And so I take charge of what social media is.
That's right.
And at first he was like, nah, que las fotos pa' qué. And now he's like, hey, ya subiste foto, ya subiste video, and this and that. And I mean, it's so important. So definitely you want to stay relevant. Como dice, there's always somebody watching. Siempre hay algo viendo. A lo mejor they're not going to show love publicly. But you better believe they're going to DM you. You better believe they're going to send your profile to somebody else. And that person's going to see it. So definitely stay relevant, stay posting. And again, no hate.
No hate. Stop the hate, man.
And más in the bully shows, bro. ¿Cuántas veces hemos visto videos that they go to bully shows and they start fighting?
Bro, it's only getting worse. When I went to the first bully shows, they was a lot smaller. They was not doing that type of shit. It started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now motherfuckers is catching people outside. They trying to fight. They trying to shoot. They trying to do this. Man, this dog game is so much like the streets, bro, because they treat it so much like the streets because it's so similar. But like I said, whatever you bring yourself around, whatever you're doing, that's what you're going to be around. If you're around bullshit about people that's just hating, if you're around people that's just saying negativity, if you're one of those people in the comments talking shit about other people's dogs, you're going to find that, bro.
Right.
You're going to find that. When you go to a show, you're going to find someone that's going to confront you. Mm-hmm. You're going to find that because that's what you're looking for. I never look for that shit, which is why I've never had no issues. You know what I'm saying? I never go there, sit down, talk shit about people's dogs, do this. I stay in my lane, I do my thing. Because I know that's how that shit goes. It's just like anything, bro. Si le buscas, le encuentras.
Definitivamente.
So, yo, lo que hago yo is I like to chase money. Yo, me gusta lo positivo. I like to support people. I like to show love. And that's what I get back all the time. And there's times where if I go and I'm going to be negative and I'm going to be doing that stuff, I'm going to get it right back. So, if I don't want it right back, I'm not finna give it. So it's just how you take it. If you take it the game like that and that's how you chase it, that's what you're gonna get.
And are you a big fan of going to the shows constantly?
Yeah, shows are great. Shows are great. You always want to go to shows. You want to show love. You want to see people. You want to show your dog off. Shows are amazing. Most of the recent shows I haven't went to because I stay at the kennel and I've had Efrain go to the shows and he goes, it does a great job, shows the dogs, demonstrates what he's got to demonstrate. And everything's smooth, you know. We don't have no problems. We don't got no problems, money problems with nobody. We've never had, gracias a Dios, you know, we always do smooth business. Mm-hmm. So we've never had no type of issues. And I'm going to continue to go to shows. But shows are amazing. You got to go to shows. You got to show love. You got to go to shows. You got to be out there in person because that's what people want. Man. You got to. You got to. You got to. It's nothing like being in person.
Right.
Especially when, here's another thing too. A lot of people think that you got to be a big kennel and you got to be the most successful because you're in Cali, because you're in New York, because you're in Florida, because you're in... It's none of that, bro. If you're active and you're all over, like, we're right here in Kansas.
How many
there's no breeders out here,
Kansas,
bro. Probably less than 10. There's probably less than 10 breeders out here in Kansas. Like, real shit. And those 10 are probably not even making noise like that. But you got to get out. If I go to a Kansas show out here... I'm going to just see the same people.
Right.
I got to go out. Ain't nobody going to come out here to a Kansas show. I got to go out to Cali. I got to go out to Florida. I got to go out to New York. I got to go to all these shows so that I could get myself relevant out there. And it's only right. If you're doing business, you're making money like this, it's only right. It's only right to go out. It's only right to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like especially, I mean, people want to see your dogs, bro. I mean, people want to see Punch, and I think... like, en sí ustedes como que se lo deben a la gente to go to a show and show them. And, I mean, people fucking love it. I mean, I drove fucking 12 hours and a half to come see Punch in person just because, like, I mean, like, I love the dog. I love him on social media. Pero no hay nada como verlo en persona, right? So I definitely had to come out here and check him out. And, I mean, he did not disappoint. He's awesome. Un punto más antes de cerrar, bro. Se ha visto también mucho en las redes sociales que people que se los estafan, right? En las redes sociales. That, like, según they buy a puppy, and then they never get the dog, and they're getting scammed. So what would you say to people who are trying to buy a dog for social media? Like, what can they do to avoid to get scammed? How can they get the person to show that they're a real breeder?
Just got to do better business. Mucha gente compra perros y se confían en las buenas ofertas, se confían en las buenas, lo que dice la gente, se confía que la gente dice, this dog's a $20,000 dog, pero ahorita te lo doy por $3,000.
Yeah.
Put a deposit down, esto, lo otro.
Your gain, my loss, pon ahí.
Exacto. Y la gente se come eso y creen en eso. But you gotta do good. It's just like anybody. No puedes hacer. You can't do business with somebody, mandar dinero, be sending money to somebody, and expecting good when you ain't even got on the phone with the person, talk with the person, seen the person in person. You know what I'm saying? Verlo en face to face. That's just gotta stop, you know? Porque hay tantos. There's so many good breeders out here that respect to those good breeders, you know, that do good business and have the respect to be able to get a deposit, receive a deposit, and keep working and doing good work. But there's so many people, just because there's also been so many good breeders, there's so many people out here that gives them room to scam and to do those things. He said they take advantage of that. But you can't be cheap out here. And even if you are getting a dog for cheap and it sounds like a good deal, go see that person go see him in person. FaceTime him. See him. You know what I'm saying?
See the dog. For me. FaceTime him, bro.
FaceTime him. See him. See what you're getting. Because just sending money and just expecting things to go sweet, it's not sweet.
Yeah, you're going to find yourself scamming real quick.
There's so many people out here scamming. And there's so many people out here scamming in China, too. Like, after we did our business in China and we shipped the dogs from China, everybody think it's okay to go spend whatever money in China. So many people got scammed. And so many people messaged me like, bro, I thought they was good up there. It's like, how can you expect that? Yeah, how can you expect that? Even me, I ran a risk. I've gotten scammed before. I can't sit here and act like I haven't got scammed. I've got scammed multiple times. Así aprende uno, right? Así aprende uno. And you got to just know that, like, it's just like anything. Wherever you spend your money with, be comfortable. If you can't afford a flight to even go look at the dog in another state, maybe you shouldn't be sending that person money for the dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be, one thing about these dogs, about this, is you got to be dedicated. You can't half-ass shit. You can't expect to just buy any fucking dog, mandalo, and expect it to be the next big thing. You got to really look at the dog. You got to pull up in person. You got to really put footwork in. And I think a lot of these people think because it's social media, because of this, it's a real easy business, but it's not. You got to do a lot of footwork. You got to do a lot of that in-person work so that things could work out.
Definitely, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, sí. Bueno, pues yo creo que con esa nota vamos a cerrar este episodio del día de hoy. Ojalá no sea el último. Ojalá, I don't know, we can come back and maybe do like a part 2 later on in the future, bro. Sure, definitivamente fue un placer venir para acá, conocerte. I want to thank you for having us here. And it was definitely worth the 12-hour-and-a-half drive, bro.
No, gracias a ustedes.
Eres un vato muy chingón, muy buena gente. Definitivamente, si quieres trabajar con él, I can definitely say I recommend you to work with him. Like, gracias. Me sale lo de la radio. Yo, Benny, te lo recomiendo. Gracias. They are solid dudes, and so I don't think there's a better way to kick off the podcast on the Flores Bully channel than with Alonso from Toy Bullies. I mean, that shit is dope. Aquí van a ver también videos y fotos que tomamos con Punch y Kalua, because that breeding is coming and it is gonna be crazy. So make sure to subscribe, guys. Make sure to like. Aquí voy a dejar, acá abajito voy a dejar todos los links a sus social medias de él, de Efraín, de Toy Bullies. Definitely hit him up. You guys still got Punch open for stud. You guys got Chief open for stud también.
We got Chief, we got Punch, we got puppies, we got everything rolling right now. So
ahí está. So definitely follow them. Do you guys have YouTube?
No YouTube, man. I need to get into YouTube.
Ahí está, man. I'm telling you, bro. We're gonna get him on that YouTube shit.
I need to get on YouTube.
Pero bueno, casi terminamos. Muchas gracias. De nuevo, bro. Muchas gracias por todo.
Gracias, estamos, gracias.
And you guys take care. This is the Flores Bullies, the podcast.